What is up, guys? George Saltano back at it again with another informative video for you guys. This video is going to be about the top beginner lifting mistakes. So if you're a newbie out there trying to get your summer bod ready, listen up. The first mistake, and this is the most important one, is not warming up properly. If on chest day your warm-up consists of just wailing your arms around back and forth for like 5 seconds,
awkward standing around, pretending like you're stretching while you wait,
and then popping on a plate on each side and just cranking that up for maybe like 5 reps and putting on 2 plates right away, you're gonna injure yourself at some point if you haven't already. Warming up properly is essential for your body to get all the joints, loosen up all the muscles, loosen up, just get the blood flowing all throughout your body. This is very important for maintaining longevity in the gym. You don't want to just lift for maybe 5 years going hard as heck and just slapping on weights left and right, not warming up at all, and then be out for an injury for 2 years because your knee got messed up, your lower back got messed up. Now you may be thinking, Georgie, well, since you said that warm-up isn't good enough, what is a good warm-up? Well, good question. I'll tell you right now. When warming up, you always want to warm up with dynamic stretching. This is different from static stretching. So static stretching is when you're just holding your muscle for a certain period of time, maybe 30 seconds, 20, 30 seconds. That's usually common. Dynamic stretching is where you're moving the joint around, moving the muscle around. This is important to do over static stretching because with static stretching, you could potentially cause injury in your workout for your muscles, because when you're stretching it out your cold muscle, it's like stretching out a cold rubber band. It's just gonna snap. Now, it's not actually going to snap your muscle off, but it could result in an injury later on. A really good example of dynamic stretching, so to say, is foam rolling out your back or your legs, whatever it may be, whatever muscle you're training that day. Using a foam roller is great. I started using it this previous year, and I just feel so much more loose, so much more limber. I always roll out my lower back too, no matter what day it is. Because even for bench, I'm going to be using my lower back when I arch my back, and it just feels a lot better. So I would definitely recommend investing in a foam roller or just using one in the gym if they have one. Now, the dynamic stretching portion you should do before every workout, and it should pretty much stay the same for each day, no matter what muscle you're training. Maybe for leg day, you do a little more leg mobility, a little more hip mobility, but it should relatively stay the same. Before every exercise though, you should warm up properly, especially for the very first couple exercises, and if they're compound exercises, even more so. Alright, so let's use the example of warming up for the 1 rep max for your bench press. And let's just say before your bench press 1 rep max was 225 pounds. And how would you go about warming up for that? So you would want to start out with just the bar, no weights on it. Do that for 10 to 12 reps, maybe 2 sets of that. Then you would put on a plate on your side. Do that for maybe 5 to 8 reps. Now for the 1 rep max, you want to keep your reps a little bit lower just so you don't fully exhaust your muscles. And just do that for 5 to 8 reps. Then put on a plate and a 25. Maybe if you're still feeling a little tight, you always want to see how your body feels. If you're feeling a little tight, maybe put on a plate and a 10 and do that for 5 reps. Then put on a plate and a 25, do that for maybe 3 to 5 reps at that point. Then put on a plate and a 35 and do that for 3 reps. Then put on the 225, which is your previous 1 rep max. Do that for 1 rep and then go for whatever you feel you can do. And that is how you would warm up for your 1 rep max. Now, for a lot of the exercises, your warm up will vary. However, you'd still want to do lighter weight before you actually get into your working sets. I always, even if it's at the end of my workout, even if I already got a sick pump going in my back and I got the rows to do, right? I'd still warm up, maybe do 2 to 3 sets with lighter weight. Maybe not do as many reps as I would do for my working sets, but still just get used to the weight. You always want to do that. I feel a lot better of a pump and I feel a lot better of just my muscles activating when I'm doing the actual working sets. So always warm up properly. Mistake numero dos: lifting too heavy or just plain simple ego lifting. Now, when I started off lifting, I definitely committed this mistake and I paid dearly for that. Around junior year, which was a good like 2-3 years ago, when I first started lifting, just about the first time I started lifting consistently. I started doing deadlifts, and every week I would try to just go up 5 pounds, and I think I was hitting a 300-pound max or something like that. And mind you, I also wasn't wearing a belt, and I pulled the weight and just snapped up my back really bad. I ended up pinching my L4 and L5 nerves, which are the main nerves in the back, and it hurt to sit, it hurt to cough, it hurt to stand up. I was paying dearly for that. I couldn't even lift for a good couple months after the injury, and yeah, so I've paid dearly, and I know that this mistake is a very bad one to make. Once you're in the gym for a good 2-3 months, you start seeing some really good progress, getting your new gains, right? You want to show off, and you just start lifting crazy heavy weights all the time. You don't even focus on the form, you just lift a heavy weight, and I know that feeling. I know you want to show off your new gains, and just don't. Please, just don't. You want to just focus on controlling the weight first, and then the heavy reps will come, the heavy weight will come as you get your form down. Now, I'm not saying don't train heavy ever, because in order to progress in size and strength, you do want to be progressively overloading your body, whether it be with how heavy the weight is or how many reps you do with that same weight that you did previously. You always want to be progressively overloading in a linear fashion. However, that will come in time. You want to first get down the form, especially if you're new to lifting. Get the form down. Stop when you're curling, stop doing all the swaying. When you're deadlifting, make sure your back is straight. When you're squatting, make sure you're getting that depth first. And yeah, you want to always make sure you get your form down first, and then you can start working with strength programs, which help you get into that overload, that progressive overload linear manner, and it'll get you there in a smart and effective way instead of just going for your 1 rep max every single week. Now, mistake number 3 kind of goes along with mistake number 2, but at the same time goes kind of against it and counters it, and that is doing just too much volume. When I started getting consistent with my lifting, when I first started a good 2-3 years ago, I was watching a lot of Kali Muscle, a lot of CT Fletcher, and they're constantly doing all these drop sets, all these supersets, the 500 rep challenge for Kali Muscle. I would do those, and the progress was not seen there, and that is because the people that do them, they typically are on some kind of supplements, that vitamin S, the steroids, and it's not effective for, first off, new lifters and just natural lifters in general. Now, the optimal number of sets and reps varies from person to person depending on training experience, genetics, and just a whole lot of other factors. However, one thing is certain, that too many sets and reps is not a good thing. This can cause a lot of joint and tendon wear, especially if good form isn't followed. Like when you're doing a lot of drop sets and a lot of supersets, you're going to get tired, and by then you're just not going to use good form. So stay away from those. Doing those every single workout, every single time. They're definitely beneficial. I do them myself. I do a lot of supersets and drop sets on my volume days. However, I don't do them all the time and even at every workout or every exercise, mind you. So stick away from those. Don't do those too often, but still incorporate those to shock your body, shock your muscles, and get a sick pump. Mistake number 4, not enough variety exercises. Now, having a consistent workout plan is a good thing. You always want to maintain the basic lifts, such as all the compound lifts, the squats, the deadlifts, the bench, whatever you may be doing. You always want to maintain them throughout your workout. However, accessory work is a must, and it is important to vary that up. Varying up accessory work will not only help increase your 1 rep maxes for your compound movements, but it can also help you just develop a nicer, fuller overall physique. For example, if for your accessory work for your shoulders, you're only doing the front and the rear shoulder raises, you're not going to be able to hit that rear lat.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
That rear shoulder to give you that nice overall full round boulder looking shoulder. And that goes a lot of the times for a lot of your muscles. All your muscles, they have different heads. Like for example, your tricep, there's 3 heads in there. A lot of times there's a lot of different sides of the muscle that you're missing out if you're only doing 2 to 3 accessory exercises after your compound movements. So make sure you always vary it up, always put in a new exercise every once in a while. I tend to like to vary it up every month or so. Maybe if I like a certain exercise, I'll keep it and maybe even swap it out for one of my other main exercises that I used to do. So always vary it up. It'll also give you a nice boost in the gym. Maybe you'll like that exercise a lot more than you do with other exercises, and you can always swap things out. And it just keeps you on your toes and gives you a good lift session. Mistake number 5, and this is probably the most important one in order to develop an overall full physique, and that is just training the show muscles. I know plenty of people, including myself, that when we first started lifting, all we would do is arms, chest, abs, and maybe shoulders if we had time, and back was very infrequent. Legs, never, because who needs legs? But that's all we did. And I remember specific periods where I would train arms every day just because of watching CT Fletcher. CT Fletcher said that he did arms every day, and I thought I could get 22-inch arms if I did them every day. However, that's not true. Nowadays, I stand firm behind the belief that in order to get an overall good physique, you need to be doing squats. A good foundation is a must in everything. You need a good base, and having a nice solid pair of legs that are strong and that can squat a lot, that'll help you develop an overall good physique. So first off, you want to make sure you're training all your muscles to get a nice solid foundation and just get an overall good physique. And second off, you want to make sure you're training your muscles at least 2 times a week and no more than maybe 3 times a week. But at that point, you want to spread out your volume throughout the workouts during that week. You want to make sure the more times you train that muscle, the less volume you do during each workout, because studies have proven time and time again that higher frequency with less volume is better for your muscles and just better overall for your growth and for your strength progress than doing less frequency but higher volume. Well, that's going to be all, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative, and if you did, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Until next time.